Hi, my name is Shannon Wood, and I'm the principal timpanist with the Grand Rapids Symphony. I just love percussion and timpani. Everything we do is so rhythmic and colorful and exciting, and we add these elements and nuances to both the band and orchestra. From xylophones to glockenspiels to tambourines and triangles, all of these instruments make up the percussion family, and each of them will require learning a specific technique, which you'll need to develop and refine so that you can be a well-rounded percussionist and musician. So as we continue to move forward today, remember to listen carefully, practice hard, and above all, have fun. Let's get started. I'd like to introduce the instruments of the percussion keyboard family. Here we have a glockenspiel and a xylophone. Three other instruments that are not shown here are marimba, vibraphone, and chimes. We'll talk about those three in a minute. All the keyboard instruments are laid out in a similar fashion. You have the naturals and the accidentals, much like a piano. On a piano, the accidentals are the black keys and the naturals are the white keys. On the keyboard instruments here, they're all one color, but the layout is similar. With a glockenspiel, the bars are made of steel or aluminum. The xylophone, the bars are made of rosewood, padauk, which is another kind of natural fiber wood, or synthetic bars. Marimbas have the same bar materials as a xylophone. The vibraphone generally is aluminum bars, and the chimes are steel tubes, and they hang vertically. The two instruments that have pedals are the vibraphone and also the chimes. The others do not. One interesting aspect to the xylophone that the glockenspiel doesn't have are resonators. As well does the marimba and the vibraphone. The resonators project the sound by the flow of air. These instruments also have height adjustable capabilities. Xylophone has height adjustable levers here, and the glockenspiel has a stand that allows you to change the height. And the height should be waist high so that you have easy access to the instrument. The glockenspiel sometimes comes in a case or can rest on a table. If it's on a table, make sure there's no foam or carpet that's going to absorb the sound. Great, let's move on. Let's talk about mallets. For the glockenspiel, it's preferred to use a hard or soft rubber mallet or even a polyball mallet such as this. You can also use brass like this. For xylophone, there are polyball mallets that are specifically made for the xylophone. They're a little bit softer than those for the glockenspiel. Here's even a harder one right here. And here's a wound cord mallet that you can use as well for xylophone. Let's talk about grip. Similar to the snare drum, we use a match grip on the percussion keyboard instruments. I'm going to demonstrate the match grip. You drop your arms to your side, raise your right arm like you're going to shake someone's hand. Put the mallet right in the first joint and the thumb over it. That's your fulcrum. Turn your mallet over, your hand over, and just move your wrist up and down. That's the motion. My arms are nice and relaxed. My elbow is fairly close to my body. Not sticking out. Not going to have any tension up here in my shoulder. I'm going to do the same with my left hand. I'm going to mirror that. In fact, you can practice this in front of a mirror to make sure it looks similar. And that's why it's called match grip, because they both match. Having fun? Let's move on. Let's talk about playing position and posture. As I mentioned before, you want to make sure the height of the instrument is at waist height. And also, you want to drop your arm down, bring it up, and have your arm just about parallel with the floor. As far as the position of your body to the instrument, you want to be close enough that you're near the instrument, not too far away, but that your arm extends naturally. My arm is nice and relaxed here. It's not positioned out here. There's not a lot of stress in my shoulder. My arm extends very comfortably. The mallet ends up in the center of the bar. As far as your positioning and posture, you want to plant your legs a little over shoulder width apart. And then if you need to span the instrument, just shift your weight. Bend your knees, shift your weight. Avoid moving and stepping, dancing behind the instrument. Just shift your weight You can kind of hover over the instrument. Same with the Glockenspiel. The Glockenspiel is not as long as an instrument, so it's easier to span the width of this instrument, much easier. Let's talk about producing sound. A few different areas you can play on the bars. The center and also the edge. The only area you want to avoid is the nodal point. The nodal point is where the string threads through the bar. Listen to what it sounds like. Now listen to the center. The center is much more resonant, much more sustained. You can also play on the edge, especially if you have a fast passage, like this. Otherwise, aim for the center. Why? Because the resonator is right under the center of the bar, and you've got the resonator helping to project that sound. Let's talk about strokes. It's a nice relaxed rebound. Rather than playing down into the bar. Sound is more harsh, not as pretty. So nice relaxed wrist movement. Very pretty, very relaxed. Same with the Glockenspiel. Nice relaxed strokes. Aiming for the center. Again, if I have a fast passage, I can use the edge. Excellent. Let's move on. When playing two or more notes on the same bar, your hand position can be left over right or right over left. Same with the Glockenspiel. Because the Glockenspiel bars ring, it may be necessary to dampen the bars. There's an exercise called Mix It Up. I'm going to play the first 4 bars and dampen with my left hand. Great. Let's talk about double stops. Double stops are when 2 notes are played at the same time by one player. It's actually more challenging than it may sound. It's difficult to have 2 hands play 2 notes without sounding like a flam. There's an example called warm-up, and I'm going to demonstrate it. Now let's talk about dynamics. Crescendos are when you gradually play louder, and decrescendos are when you gradually play softer. There are 2 examples that I'd like to play to demonstrate this. One is called Turn the Volume Up, and the other is called Turn the Volume Down. And now I will play Turn the Volume Down. Wonderful. Let's move on. Let's talk about rolls. On the keyboard instrument, rolls involve alternating strokes. It's a little challenging, but this is how you can practice them. Alternate right, left, so starting slow and getting faster. You want to avoid one hand sounding louder than the other, make the roll sound uneven like this. One way you can combat that is keep your stick height the same. For a softer dynamic, about 1 inch off the bar. For a louder dynamic, you can raise your sticks a little bit higher. You can practice crescendos and decrescendos as well, incorporating those different stick heights. There's a piece called Orally. I'd like to demonstrate it, show you how rolls are performed. Great. Let's talk about articulation. There are two forms of articulation I'd like to discuss: accents and staccatos. Accents have a louder attack quality, where staccatos have a lighter, more separated attack quality. You don't usually come across staccatos in percussion, but it's important that you understand the term and how to execute it. Here's an unaccented note. Here's an accented note. As you can hear, there's a little more attack. Here's a note that does not have any staccato marking. Now I'm going to play a note that has a staccato marking, which is a dot above the note. And to execute that staccato sound, I'm going to dampen the bar between the notes. Excellent. There's an example called Articulation Station. I'm going to perform it and execute both accents and staccatos. Wonderful. Let's move on. Let's talk about care and maintenance of the keyboard instruments. It's important to make sure you use a damp or dry cloth, not too much moisture on it, and carefully wipe off any dust or debris or dirt. Just want to keep it free of anything that might be causing the instrument more wear and tear. Just a simple wipe down is great. I would avoid any types of furniture polishes or other chemical-based cleaners that might damage some of the finish. Really all it needs is a nice wipe down. With your mallets, it's important to store your mallets, keep them in a safe place. I have a little mallet holder here. There's plenty of different types of mallet holders, but protect them. If you protect them, they'll last a long time and help you make great music. Whenever the instruments are not in use, you can put the cover on it. I wouldn't set anything on the instrument like cymbals. They're not tables. Don't lean on them too much. Don't put your weight against them. But treat them as you would any other instrument, violin or trumpet. It's a delicate instrument. You want it to last its lifetime. Great.